Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Get Fit with Me, expanding your physical and mental fitness group. This group is for individuals who are looking to expand both their physical and mental fitness while helping and supporting others with similar goals all along the way. In this group, we talk about three main topics here: physical fitness and mental fitness, which are right in the title of the group. But we also touch and talk about nutrition quite a bit. So each week we rotate between a physical fitness, mental fitness, nutrition. We kind of rotate through all of those so that you're not just getting consumed with one or the other. You're going to get a mix of everything. So I want to give a shout out before we get started to Jamie Peth for inviting people into this group and into this community just this week. And when you invite people in, the group grows, we can support one another, we can support more people, and we can help create a bigger impact. So thank you, Jamie, for the invites this week. And for the new members, welcome to the group. You're going to get the most out of this group if you click that Zoom link above, and I will actually drop it in the comments of the chat right now so you guys have it there. By clicking that little Zoom link and jumping in the group, just like Brisha is doing right now. She's in the group. She's going to get the most out of it because we get to have one-on-one conversations. I do understand that sometimes timing does not always work. And if that's the case, let me know if you are if you're in Facebook watching live. If you're watching live right now, drop hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, maybe on Saturday when the replay comes out, because I send in case you missed an email, or maybe you're watching it later today, drop hashtag replay and let me know that you are here watching and you are following along. So with that being the case, we're going to jump right into some introductions. And I would like to know from Velisa here who you are, where you're from. One, it's really good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever. So who you are, where you're from, and do you have a habit or routine that you've been trying to change or that you want to change?
Okay, I'm Velisa from the Ann Arbor area. It is so good to see your beautiful face. I am still exhausted, so I'm sitting on the couch in front of a fan trying to get caught up on work. A habit that I'm trying to get better at doing is I wasn't one who, I don't know if this is the topics we're going with, but eating breakfast that I have not. I'm a sweet junkie, so it's like all that I want cereal or, stuff like that, which isn't the best choice. So trying to break a habit, eating like a more healthy, beneficial breakfast that's going to tie me over and help with cravings through the day. So that's something, and I haven't been good at eating breakfast before. So that's something I'm trying to work on right now.
And I know you just got off a crazy last 12 days at least. So probably trying to get back into the routine and the habits of having a more balanced breakfast rather than the cereal that you're going to be hungry for. Any of that is probably another challenge that you're facing as you come back from fair and all the other stuff.
Exactly.
Well, perfect. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy I see your face today. And Kelly or Mom, who are you? Where are you from? And do you have a habit or routine that you want to change or you've been trying to change that's just not happening?
So I'm Kelly from Holt, Michigan, and I would say that I have a habit. I have to think really hard between the difference of a habit and a routine, but I have a habit of when I come home from work, I instantly want a snack. And I put that back to when we were kids and we got off the school bus. We came in and we had a snack and we got to relax. And so while the relaxing part is a good habit when you come home from work, the fact that I just grab whatever's readily available, even if I don't really like it, I know I'm not hungry. It's just, I just do it. It's like having that bowl of ice cream. I don't do that, but yeah. So that's a habit that I have that I honestly haven't worked on changing. I just know it's a bad habit.
And I like that you said that you're not hungry. So you know it's not a good habit because you're not hungry. But if you were hungry, then it'd be an okay habit to have. You get home from work, you know you're hungry, you choose something.
Yeah.
So perfect. And we have Brisha on Facebook. She couldn't get the sound to work on Zoom. You're welcome to try to jump back in. If not, just follow along in the comments with us. So answer who you are, where you're from, and do you have a habit or routine you've been trying to change? So I'm going to give you guys some definitions, and we're going to have a discussion before I tell you my opinion on all this. But I want you guys to kind of think about a habit versus a routine, exactly what you said. So a habit is a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. So usually when I think of habits, I think of bad habits. I don't usually think of the good habits that we have. My mind automatically goes to the bad, and that's not the case. We have good and bad habits. A routine is a sequence of actions regularly followed, like a fixed program or like a system. So I have a system to how I send out emails. I have a system to how I put my shoes on. So that's another way to think about the difference between a habit and a routine. A habit is one action. A routine is a sequence of actions. So I had to look that up because I was in the same boat of, okay, they're very similar. So if you guys saw yesterday's post asked the question of, do you think your routines determine your habits, or do you think your habits determine your routine?
Yeah, I didn't answer it because I wasn't sure. I'm going to go with my routine. It's that routine of coming in the door that has created that habit, is what I think.
Valisa, how about you? Which one is better for you?
Thought works too, that your routine somehow can lead to those habits. And I'll just chime in real fast that I can say that Marcus does the same thing, Kelly. And he even says that he remembers that when they got off the school bus, he would get his snack. His was toast with cinnamon sugar on it. But so those things.
What? It's ice cream. It's always been ice cream.
Right? Mine was ice cream growing up. We always had ice cream every night. Like that was just our thing. And so I continued that and realized I really don't need ice cream that often. I love it and I want it, but not good to do.
So on the whole, coming home from school, my sister and I would do the same thing, but we were the most unhealthy snackers in the world. We would melt a whole bag of like Baker's chocolate, and we'd sit there with a bag of pretzels, and we'd literally eat an entire like thing of chocolate and pretzels as our after school snack, like every day. I was lucky I was an active child. Like we did not, Kennedy and I did not make the most healthy after school snack decisions. And mom was doing something outside and we're just like, okay, we fend for ourselves. So which meant we could grab whatever we wanted, which was great.
You are strong, independent women, and I gave you the opportunity to make your own choices.
Yes. And Brisha also agreed with us. My routine determines my habits. So when I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, my habit. I have a habit of, let's say, eating badly on the weekends. Well, what is the reason? Well, it's because I don't have a structured routine on the weekends. I let my routine slip. During the week, I have a routine. Every morning I get up, I make sure that I have time to eat breakfast, have coffee, sit and do something, shower. I have time that I give myself and a routine that I do. But if all of a sudden I'm running out the door because I've woken up late, I didn't have time, I'm throwing on clothes and getting out the door in 3 minutes, I have not ate well, which means I end up running into a fast food place or Big V to get a sandwich and a coffee, which means later in the day, I don't have my water bottle with me and I don't drink enough water. So for me, I agree. If my routine is not stable and solid, those habits end up not being stable and solid. So thinking of, we're going to talk about how that routine that we have, and a lot of us, I had this training months ago, and a few of you said, I don't have routines. We all have routines, whether we think we do or not. You get up every day and you do a sequence of things. It may not look like the perfect routine or something you realize is your routine, but we all have routines. So I want us to think about one portion of your day. Mine is my morning routine sets me up for the rest of my day. If I skip that morning routine, I know I'm not successful the rest of the day. That's why weekends, I don't have a morning routine. So weekends, I usually don't drink enough water and I usually don't eat as healthy. One, I'm okay with that because I've given myself that permission. But I know if I were to just have some sort of structure on those weekends, that my habits would follow through the weekend a little bit better. So what types of routines come up for you guys as when you have a really good portion or a really good routine in your day? What comes up for you as being like, is it the morning routine? Is it having a lunch routine? Is it having a workout routine? What routine do you have that if it doesn't happen, kind of throws your whole day off?
So my day will get thrown off if I don't follow my morning routine. But the routine that's most important to me, it doesn't throw off my day because it is at the end of the day is when I am done working to have planned exercise, to have a walking partner, to be working out with you. If I don't have that, then I won't get my steps in for the day, or I won't, or I won't meet the number of core trainings that I'm supposed to do in a week. So does it ruin my day? No, I feel bad after I sit on the sofa for a while, but it doesn't ruin my day. Now, if I get up and I don't do my morning routine of putting my contacts in and brushing my teeth and all those things, that ruins my day.
And I like that you said you have one that ruins your day and one that doesn't. So yeah, if you don't work out, it's not going to ruin your day, usually because it's at the end, but it's also still going to affect how you are the next day. That if you don't go for a walk or you don't get your steps in, that then trickles into the next day. And then if you do it the next day, it then trickles into the next. And then it ends up being a spiral down the line. So knowing that you have certain things of planning, well, I'm doing this with this person, this with this person. Okay, well, we're all in a challenge this week for step. We need to go out and move so that we're not. And I did get a walking treadmill for under my desk, Lisa. So yeah.
One time, I'm like, Morgan kicks her butt every week. It was fair week. I was moving.
So, Lisa, how about you? What routine kind of either throws your day off, or if you don't keep it in place, kind of spirals into a downward of, wow, I have not committed to anything for a while?
Yeah, definitely, I guess the morning, because our routine, for the most part, like the morning is the same. So we have to get up, we have to have chores done by a certain time. So that kind of kickstarts my day. And I've been trying to get like a protein bar or something for like right first thing in the morning, because sometimes I don't know what chores is going to look like and it might be longer. So I try and do something like right when I wake up to kind of give me a boost, because it might be a little while before I'm back in to like try and have a healthier breakfast. But if we have appointments or something that I haven't fully planned for, then that will throw off my day, because I'm a planner and I have things marked out and penciled. And so sometimes if I don't give myself that grace period for real life to happen, then that will snowball. So I'm doing a better job of trying to not be such a control freak with the time. But yeah, different kind of commitments that have to get done during the day. It's hard when I work at home and have normal household stuff to take care of, and then the kids or school. So I'm kind of a stickler on routine, but I'm trying to not be so much, have a little more flow to it than being so rigid, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, that makes sense. Because just kind of like you said there, life is going to pop up and get in the way. Karen and I were actually talking. She's on a work thing out in New York today. So she's like, I can't be there. So we talked a little bit, and she had fair last week, just like you. She's now gone for travel. She's like, all these things in life pop up that pull you away from your normal day to day without realizing it. Or you don't realize it till the next day, like, crap, I have to travel. Or, oh, this popped up, or this, or dad called, I had this, or mom called, I had that. Like, things in life do pop up. So there has to be that grace period or that flow that happens that I like to have a very structured routine and go places at certain times, but I'm getting better at like, okay, great. If that doesn't work out at this time, it will move. So I always schedule my workouts for the day, but if I wake up and I realize I need that extra 30 minutes of sleep, I just push it until the end of my day. But I know that if I don't get my workout in, it spirals into me not feeling great, which means I then end up not even doing my morning routine because I don't feel good in the morning. So there's certain habits out of my routines that I have picked up on, such as making sure I get some sort of movement in per day, whether it's walking, it's actually a strength workout, it's stretching. I do some sort of movement, intentional movement every day. And that is a habit that I've picked up and have been able to sustain when my routines are in place.
Good.
So figuring
When you're talking about drinking water, so I got a 64-ounce jug and a 128-ounce, and of course everybody has to comment on it, all the things. If I don't fill that jug first thing in the morning, I won't get my water in. Like if I don't have the jug as a visual, I'll be like, oh, I don't need it. I'm home all day. I can just refill my glass. I'll get like 2 glasses of water in, and that's it. Like, I have to have it. That has been something that is a visual I need to see and like keep track of it. So.
And I like that you brought that up, because when I'm running out the door and I'm last minute, I usually grab whatever water bottle is next to my bed, which is usually half empty because we've drank it midway through the night. And that's all the water I walk out with. And then I end up not being able to fill it up, or some things I don't prepare myself when I'm in a rush. When I don't prepare myself for what the day has ahead, I'm in a rush and I can't eat healthy, or I just choose not to eat healthy. It's not that I can't, but I choose not to because it's more convenient not to. I don't drink the water because it's more convenient not to. I do all the things that I know I shouldn't do, but I do it out of convenience. I know the right thing to do. I know how to implement it, but out of convenience, I choose the other options, which if I were to give myself that nice morning routine to get myself set up, even if it's 10 minutes. So for those of you who are out there like, oh yeah, I run out the door, barely putting my pants on, but 5 minutes from work every single morning. Think about waking up just 5 minutes earlier and what just that extra time will do for you. Like, Lisa, if you wake up late and you can't grab that protein bar to go over to the farm, you're probably not fun to be around when you get back from being over there doing chores, because nobody's fun when they're hungry.
Especially Morgan.
Yeah.
There is such a thing as hangry in her world.
I'm on a 2 to 3 hour eating schedule.
Of those.
Yep.
So if you guys have your notebooks available, I know some of you have like your health notebooks. If you don't, grab a sheet of paper. I'm going to ask you some questions, and we're going to kind of work through some routines and some habits that you can start to implement based on the routines that you have. So you guys have already answered the first question of, do you think your routines form your habits, or do you think your habits form your routines? So I want you all, because you just said that you think your routines form your habits, I want you to write that down. So you don't forget that if your routine is not structured, solid, and in place, your habits are going to suck. I know mine do, and it's brutally honest with it. So second question I have for both of you. What routine or habit do you want to change that you've been wanting to change for a while? So that goes back to that first question. So Mom, you said it was you're not coming home and snacking when you get home from work. And Valisa, you said about having a more balanced breakfast, correct?
Yes.
So how long would you say those habits have been in place?
I'm not giving my age.
You don't have to. You can just.
That's all
You
that
can say a
habits
while.
in place.
A while.
A while, yes.
You can write down the number of years on your piece of paper.
Okay.
Lisa, how about you? How long do you think, because I know you've been on track and then we all go through that up and down. Yours, I find, is more of one of those roller coaster habits.
Yeah.
So how long do you think this last bout of not being balanced has been?
I'm kind of wondering if it was maybe the beginning of summer. Like, you know, like sometimes we had more of a structure during the school year, and then summer comes and a little more laxed. So yeah, it's maybe kind of been like a 3-month awareness.
Perfect. Write that down. So now we want to think about, what is that routine that leads us up to grabbing that snack as soon as we get home? So Mom, what is that routine that you have? You get out of the car, you walk in the kitchen, you put your stuff down, you grab the thing, right? Like, think of what that sequence looks like and write that down so you can see, because then we're going to make the change to it. Lisa,
Okay.
same with you. What is that sequence that happens for you? You get up, you go do chores, you come home, and then there's nothing prepared, so you grab something quick, or we're rushing to go to the next thing. Think of what's that common sequence. I know it doesn't look the same each and every day, but what's the commonality?
Commonality.
Commonality. There we go. And then once you have that written down, let me know.
I also know that part of mine is I use it as a procrastination tactic. So even if I am looking forward to meeting up with somebody and going out, walking or running, still, if it's hot or if it's cold, it's just like, I got a couple minutes here. I can shove in a handful of pretzels.
And part of that, depending on when you ate last, it is good that you are having those handful of pretzels, because you are going to go do movement and you need some sort of energy. If you just ate and you left the office and you got home, if you had a late lunch, probably not necessarily. But because you're doing out of habit and not out of need is when you're realizing that it needs to be shifted.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, what does that routine kind of look like for you, for each of you? What sequence did you just write down?
Well, I guess I said that I got up and went and did chores, came home, and then when I thought about it, instead of probably getting breakfast or preparing something, because it isn't necessarily that I don't have this stuff in the house. Like, I have oatmeal and I have eggs or sausage and yogurt. Like, I have options, but I wrote down that I get distracted. Then I might throw a load of laundry in, because then I think, oh, that can be going while I'm doing dishes. And then it's like, it just snowballs into every room I enter. I find something that I need to do. And instead of just starting when I came in and thoughting like, what's a healthy breakfast I could have, make it, eat it, and then that would give me energy for those other things, I just skipped it and went on to the other household stuff that I had to get done.
So if you had something prepared, if you had your yogurt already in containers, so all you had to do was open the fridge, would that make that distraction less by knowing when you come in, there's less to do? Because sometimes the to-do behind it is what leads us to, I'll just throw in the laundry because it's going to take me a few minutes to make the eggs.
It's good. Mm-hmm. Right. Like if I had egg, like the little egg cups in the muffin tins, like if I already had them and all I had to do was heat it up, I could throw that in while it's heating, put my load of laundry in, come back, it's done, and I'm ready to eat.
Yeah. So we're going to look at preparation on your end, on how to create a different routine that allows some more preparation, so that that distraction is still going to happen, because we think about 80 million things all the time. If my desk is not clean, I want to clean my desk before I work. So there's all these distractions that if we can prepare for the distractions, just like if you have that bar, it's going to be busy, you're preparing by grabbing that bar. So if we can prepare to have some of those breakfasts ready for you, then you'll be able to come in and that distraction won't lead to that unhealthy or that unbalanced, I don't like the word unhealthy, that unbalanced breakfast. Mom, how about you?
So you pretty much described my routine. You've seen it, but you know, so I get out of the car, I unlock the door, I drop my stuff on the table, which I then eventually move. During summertime, I'm opening the shades because I keep them closed during the day to keep the house cooler. And then it's not 100% clear, the path after that. Those first ones are clear. And then after that, sometimes I might go change my clothes to go work out. And then I'll realize I have like 5 minutes. And then I will have pretzels, which maybe not the end of the world, but when you dip them in sour cream or a bunch of other things, potentially not the best. Or sometimes I will just, and it's probably when I don't have something planned closely, that then I go to the cupboard above the stove and I start having snacks. And then I'm like, you know, and then it's like, oh, I should think about dinner. Well, geez, you just ate dinner and pretzels and sour cream. So
it's having too much time, it sounds like, in between getting done with one activity and doing the other. Because it's not enough to relax or to bring out a book, but it's just enough to do something quick.
no, that's a very good observation. It's kind of like you get home and, well, I got to get the horses fed, but they don't need to be fed this instant. And so then you kill a little time.
I like idle hands. Need to do something.
Yeah, even if it's bad for me.
So when you take care of the stuff you drop on the table?
Say that again.
When do you take care of that pile that you just dropped on the table?
Usually after I have my snack, then I will, if I don't have something planned, then that pile, which does, you know, it consists of my lunchbox, which I will finish unpacking, put it away, and put my purse away. If I have something planned right away, then usually I'm just grabbing my purse and headed back out the door.
But it always sounds like you have time for that snack, whether you have to grab your purse and get out the door. Okay.
Yes, there's always time for a snack, unless I go from like point A to point B and I don't stop at my house. But at some point I have to stop at my house. And so that creates the opportunity for a snack. I'm less likely to do it at other times of the day and evenings, but that, when you get home from school time, that's a real trigger for me. So I should never go home.
Thinking about though, so you get dressed and then you go to the kitchen, you have your snack, and then if you have time, you take care of your stuff and then you leave. What if right when you walked in the door, you took care of that? So you got out of the kitchen, you took care of what you needed to, then you got changed, and then you moved through. Because what it sounds like is sometimes your stuff gets taken care of before you leave, and sometimes you're just grabbing your purse, but it's that length of time. So what can you fill that time with instead of grabbing the snack?
I could pack my lunch for the next day, because that, when I do that, but then that involves food. And so I'm probably gonna, but I pack good things in my lunch, so it's putting the salad in there. It's the cheese stick, the fruit, because I find I've started to pack my lunch at night and put it in the fridge. And I like that because I like to go quick in the morning, and I already go quick, but that lets me go even quicker.
So yeah, try adding in, whether it's taking care of your pile, or we all have that one mail pile in our house, or even before you have your snack, go through a few of the pieces that are sitting on the table that we know will sit there forever. So think of different activities that you can do when you know you don't have time to sit down, turn on a show, or to read, or to go outside and get the cushions out. Maybe it's go out and water the flowers. Like, think of smaller type activities that you can do to get you away from the kitchen, or if it is making your lunch, it's at least an action that's happening. You're at least doing an action rather than just sitting there and having the pretzels mindlessly. Like if you're sitting there and you are making your lunch and having a pretzel, at least you're moving while you're doing it. So
Right. So if I eat my snack while I'm walking around the house, that doesn't count either.
not necessarily. So I want you guys to I want you to create a list. Mom, I want you to create a list of some things that you can do around the house that are really small, that take about the length of time it takes you to get a snack and eat a snack. I don't know how long that takes. So think about how long that takes for you and some things that you can do. Lisa, I want you to think about what are some prepared things that you can have in the fridge, whether it's like yogurt parfait. So it's your yogurt and fruit already measured out, whether it's overnight oats already planned. If you have not tried overnight oats, I think you'd really like them.
I have not tried yet, but I like saved Pinterest, on it. I just haven't done it. So I'm going to set that goal. I'm going to try it this week.
So I will say it works really well if you have like normal size mason jars and you don't fill it all the way to the top because it does grow. So keep that in mind. The oats do get bigger because they do soak up the milk that's in there. So if you fill it all the way to the top, like it doesn't work very well. And then you also can't mix anything in. I have a recipe for you. If you want that recipe, I will send it to you. For those of you guys watching the replay, just drop oats in the comments and I'll get you the overnight oats. I tried it back in May when I did the retreat and it was fantastic. I've done it with chocolate protein powder and vanilla. I think you could probably use whatever you wanted, but I've tried with both. So thinking of what are some of those foods that you can eat that are more balanced, that you can really just have quickly on hand. The difference for you, though, Valisa, compared to my mom, is my mom, she just has to go do it. You also have to add a prep time at some point in your week to get these things ready. And it could be the night before. At dinner, you're going to make sure you have your breakfast ready. So your overnight oats, I make them and they last me like 4 or 5 days. I just make a big batch and I portion out and they last in the fridge for 4 or 5 days, which is nice.
And some of it is I have the time. I just don't set, like part of me, I even made a little note of just putting a note, because right when I come in from chores, the first room I enter is the kitchen. So it's like I'm already there of just putting up a note that's like, eat breakfast. Like just as that reminder of like, you have the time to do this. I just get distracted and start something else of just saying, no, I'm going to take the 10 minutes. I'm going to make it or eat it. And then I can get going. That's not going to throw off the rest of my day. I just get distracted. So it's kind of like scheduling breakfast might be part of my problem.
When I have busy days, I schedule all my meals in my calendar. Because if I have back-to-back calls all morning and I don't schedule that, I can run up and go pee and come back real quick, but like I can't eat something that quickly. So thinking of when we have those really busy days, how do I make sure I do get at least my 3 meals in so that I have the energy to be there to do the things that I need to do in front of me? Because often if I skip those, I'm 1, not fun to be around, and 2, I'm exhausted. And I usually get the yawns happening when I'm like, okay, it's time to eat again.
It'll be like 10, 11 o'clock and I'll kind of be like, why don't I feel great? And I'll stop and think, did I have breakfast? Have I been drinking my water? And I'll realize no. And it's not that I couldn't, I kind of got distracted and didn't schedule the time for that. So that's something that would be beneficial to change and incorporate.
And I know we talked about water, but I want to touch on, you made the routine of filling your water bottle every morning, which aids in that habit of drinking your water throughout the day. So if you struggle with having balanced meals, create a routine of planning out what your balanced meals are going to be for the week. All of my clients do a meal plan for the week and they send it to me. And they say, this is what I'm having for all of this meals, which then also means you go to the grocery store, you get the right things, you don't overbuy, you only go down the aisles you need, and you have no guesswork during the week when it's Monday and you're like, what do you want for dinner? No, you took the time Sunday to choose what you're going to eat this week. And yeah, you can go, well, we don't.
Morgan, you appear to be frozen, or is it me?
Hey, is it her? Is it me?
It's me.
Oh, hey, you're back.
Back. Yep, I was like, I'm talking to nobody apparently. And then I realized it was me. So taking that time to, even at the start of your week, plan your meals, create that routine so that you have your balanced meals for the day, for the week. So keeping in mind all of those things, that habit of drinking your water and getting your water intake comes from the routine of filling up your big water bottle at the start of the day. I've been trying to drink the water.
Right. Takes a while.
I've also tried, if you guys are struggling, take the cap of your water, because you're more likely to grab it because you don't want to spill it if you randomly knock it over. So I've been keeping the cap off mine because I know if it's off, I will drink more of it. So what are you guys hearing? What types of questions do you have? What's coming up for you now that we've kind of worked through this little portion?
Well, it did. I mean, making the list, I did come up with a couple other things that aren't super big time commitments. That might be able to fill that void. I'd have to really work at doing those things. So yeah, I might need to make a list and post it. I'm not sure.
I was going to say, could you post the list in front of the pretzel cabinet?
I could also just get rid of the pretzels. It's the only junk food I have in the house and I don't really like them, but yes. But you know, then I'll go to cheese or I'll go to, yeah. So, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I would be better off. Maybe I didn't put this on my list, but maybe I should plan my snack and then know that instead of having a quarter bag of pretzels and sour cream, that I'm going to eat that thing of yogurt that's in my refrigerator when I come home. Because really it's snacking when I walk in the door probably isn't the end of the world. It's just what I choose is not the best. But then if I'm doing it out of habit and not because I'm hungry, that's not a good practice either. So
it's creating that list, putting it somewhere, and then when you go, having the real question of, am I hungry? Do I need whatever you choose to have? If you are, great, have it. If you're not, choose something on that list to go do instead.
yeah.
Because it's having
that might help me.
It's all out of habit. I went and opened up the fridge before this call and I was like, I don't even have time to eat before this call. Why am I opening up the fridge? But it's habit to open things up and just look for no reason. But the more you look, the more likely you are to actually grab something that you don't need and that you're not actually hungry for.
The fridge fairy will just automatically put something in there that looks good. I do remember when you girls were younger that I remember saying, are you actually hungry or are you bored?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's also would be a habit of mine when I sit down and watch TV, which doesn't happen very often. But you know, you can watch for a while and then you're like, I think I'll have some cheese and pretzels. Mm-hmm. Again, not hungry.
It's the boredom factor that hits. It's the boredom, and the best part is some of the time we have the awareness and we still do it. But a lot of time we don't have the awareness. So if you have the awareness and you are consciously saying, I'm not hungry, but I'm going to eat this, then you're at least consciously making the decision rather than unconsciously making the decision of, I'm not hungry.
Oh, you froze again. You froze again.
I know. It's been a really good Wi-Fi day today.
Oh, no.
And I'm hoping the live stream is still doing the thing it's supposed to be doing. Lisa, do you have any questions, comments, anything that's come up during this for you?
I don't think so. I did write down, some different notes of things that made me more aware instead of just simple like, oh, I need to eat a better breakfast. It's simple to say that, but implementing it or what changes I need to make to the routine to create that healthy habit. Some things that will help that and some suggestions of the different breakfast options to use. So I think I got some good takeaways.
Perfect. And we'll do takeaways and commitments at the end. Like I said, Karen and I were talking, and her question was, how do you get back on track with your routine when fair traveling life comes up? So you go do this thing. How do you get back on track with that routine? And my two things that I wanted to share behind this were, you need to just first create a solid routine. If you don't have a solid routine that you can always fall back on, that is the first thing you need to do. And know that as soon as you get back, you need to just jump right back on that routine. There's no, well, we'll just wait till tomorrow, or, oh, it's Thursday, we'll just wait till Monday. No, if you have a solid routine, jump back into it right away. Every Monday, my Monday looks exactly the same every week. Like, I have my routine that after our weekends at the lake, I jump right back into. The other thing is, while you are at fair, traveling, doing things that life has thrown at you, try to keep as much of that solid routine as possible. So if part of that routine is having a breakfast every morning, don't go skipping breakfast during those busy weeks or those weeks you're traveling. Keep those things consistent. So the more consistency you can keep during the busyness, the easier it's going to be to come back to that solid routine, because it's not this, well, what should I do? What has worked? That we all fall back to. We all look back at ourselves like we haven't done this once before, but we all have done it once before. Like, we know how to do it, but each time we come back from something, we feel like we need to reinvent the wheel and try something new. Create that solid routine and try to keep as many of those things consistent throughout that travel, the fair, the busyness that life throws. All of a sudden, oh no, I had a really late night. Well, great. If you're sleeping in and you're not waking up at the same time the next day, that's okay. Do you have breakfast on the next morning? Because that's something you usually do. Do you have a glass of water? Do you have your glass of coffee? Like, keep some of those consistent so it's not as foreign to us when we come back into normalcy, whatever we want to call normal life. Like, when we get back into our normal day to day. So Karen, that was an awesome question, because we do have things come up. We do have travel. We do have all these things. So getting back into it is just dial into that solid routine. And if you don't have one, I really challenge you to look into what you do and like list it out of like, what do you do every morning? Is that good? Are there pieces in there that you could probably get rid of? Are there pieces in there that you'd like to add? Maybe when you wake up before you get out of bed, you want to read 10 minutes of a book. Maybe like before bed, you want to read 10 minutes before you turn the light out. Like, think through those routines. And once you get those solid, you can slowly implement new habits or hobbies into there for like 5, 10, 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be, well, my morning routine is now 2 hours long because I added wanting to do my hair. Like, no, find an easier way to do some things. Keep it simple, but you can add things in of, I'm gonna meditate for 5 minutes this morning, because that's something I want to do and it makes me feel better. Any questions following Karen's question in that conversation? Or anything you guys do to kind of bring yourself back to routine when life happens?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm planned to go off my routine, like if I'm going to go out of town or go on a vacation, I do try to keep, in terms of being physical, I do try to keep the routine of walking or running and scheduling it. Okay, so if I go with somebody who doesn't enjoy walking or running, then I go on my own. I'll get up early before we take off and I will go somewhere and I will do those things. So I think that's helpful for me, but that's probably the only habit or routine that I'm able to keep. Otherwise, it seems like everything else kind of falls by the wayside. But then when I get back to my normal, when I get back home, then it just seems like things fall back into place pretty easily for me. But, I'm also not managing children and craziness right now. So it's just me. It can be, so I can get back into my routine a lot more quickly without outside influences.
Absolutely. And there is less of outside influences for me too. I don't have animals. I don't have children. It's easier to get back into that routine. But when you have the animals, Karen, I know you have animals. You have lots of animals. Lisa, you have animals. There's a lot of you on here that have animals. Like going back to what you know. Do you do nighttime chores? Great. Go back to that solid routine. You keep the animals on a routine. You keep them on a schedule. Put yourself back on the schedule as soon as you get back on the schedule with them, because you're kind of already doing it, even though you don't think you are. If you're showing up for them, to feed them and to do the things, just put your thing in there, because you're getting back into it.
Yeah.
So insights and takeaways. What did you get out of today? What stuck to you like glue? And then what are you committed to based on today's conversation? Because if you're not committed to anything, none of this is going to stick, and it's going to go in one ear and out the other.
So what I'm committed to is I'm going to rewrite my list so it doesn't look horrible and post it where I might go for a snack, and then try to choose doing something else instead of grabbing that snack as soon as I walk in the house. But on my list is plan a healthy snack. That way, if I'm hungry, I can have a snack, but I choose to have a better snack. But that's also going to require me to go to the grocery store. So this is going to take me a little bit.
And even just asking yourself that one question of, am I bored or am I hungry? And making that conscious thought of why you're grabbing that snack could even just be that first commitment.
Oh yeah, I asked myself that question. It doesn't stop me.
Well, okay, I like the list. List is the next commitment.
Okay.
What was your takeaway from today?
My takeaway, a few things that I circled on my notes was building consistency in healthy habits. So hoping that I'll put a sign up or a note in the kitchen just saying like eat breakfast, and then take some time, whether it's this week or weekend, whenever it works, to make sure I have a few of those healthy breakfast options that are going to not just being healthy, but the right ones that are going to give me the energy I need through the morning. So just to be intentional about that. I have the time. It's just prioritizing it and using it wisely.
Perfect. And what is your commitment for today? Or that you are going to start? Because yours was more breakfast oriented. So what is your commitment that you're going to do tomorrow?
My commitment is making that sign and putting it up that says to eat breakfast, and yeah, because I already have a few things like already in the fridge that could count as like I have the low sugar, high protein yogurt. So they're already made in a container. Like that would be an easy one. It's doing it. So literally it's making the sign and putting it up so that I'm intentional of whether before I walk out the door to do chores or the first thing I do when I come back in. That's what I'm going to be intentional about.
I love it. And you homeschool. So if you have any of those big poster boards, just write it really big and hang it from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? And Lisa, I'll get you that overnight oats recipe for any of you guys else who wanted it. Just drop oats A few little takeaways and reminders. Next week, we're doing a mobility workshop. So we're actually going to move. We talk about strength training, we talk about cardio. Flexibility and mobility is a huge part of allowing us to still move well. We can be doing all these things, but if we aren't stretching and we aren't practicing our mobility, you can lift as much weight, but if your range of motion is this, you're not getting any benefits. So we have to work on that mobility. So we're going to do a moving workshop next week. You just need space. That's all you need. And then I wanted to share, because we are on routines and habits, we are getting close to talking about the Commit to Your Health program again this fall. So if any of you guys are interested, whether you've done it before, I know you two have, for any of you guys who are like, yes, I want to be part of it again this year, it is a 6-week program. I can just give you a call and talk to you about it. It does have some more fun things this year. I've revamped it and there's some awesome things in it. So with that being the case, if you guys want the information for that, just drop commit in the comments or in the chat, or give me a thumbs up and I'll reach out to you and we can talk about it. We only have 20 seats. So this is the first I'm talking to anybody. So it's first come, first serve. So yeah, if you just want to talk, I'm here. Anything else? You guys all good?
I think I'm good.
Well, perfect. Thank you both for being here today. It was great seeing both of you. And thank you, Brescia, for being on Facebook. And I will see you guys all next week for our mobility workshop. We're just going to move and feel good. So if you've had a long day at work, this will be perfect. I'll see you all next time.
Bye.